Hello, happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you too. Welcome everyone to the commentary zone. Today we are talking about our old girlfriends, the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 13, episode 9, the hostess with the leastest.
Poke Kenya. That's all I got. Poke Kenya.
But
She's,
honestly, I wasn't. Was this the best episode ever? No. Was this the best episode this season so far?
yes.
Yes. So I was a little excited. It kept me engaged. I wasn't mad or frustrated, except at one point when I realized that they're giving us an episode per day of this girls' trip, and this a 5-day trip. I don't know how much more I can take of this.
You know what it was though for me? We really didn't hear from Latoya this episode.
That's a good thing.
I think that's what really made it enjoyable. We didn't hear it from her. Did we hear from her
Mm-hmm.
at all?
She squealed
Okay,
when they were trying to plan the surprise for the bachelorette party.
perfect.
And she hosted the Get Fit class
Okay, that's what it
for
was.
the aunties and the nieces.
That's perfect. She
And
should stick
that
to that.
was, oh, and she said one thing, which I thought was not pivotal, but it was an interesting comparison when they were sitting down watching the results of the Breonna Taylor um, investigation, right?
Hmm.
She turns to Tanya, the two Canadians in this group, and they said, "We didn't grow up like this," because they're from Canada.
Right.
And it made a stark contrast, I think, to the ladies, the American ladies, on how Black people are perceived here and treated here as opposed to our good neighbors to the north. So
Okay.
she
Hmm.
had one good moment in this
She
episode for
did.
me.
She had one good
Yeah.
moment. We gonna help her rest on that moment too.
Okay. So a quick run through of this episode. We continue on the evening of day 2 with the argument at the dinner table. We see Cynthia packing up a doggy bag for everybody back home of tainted meat, in my opinion. Um, the ladies try to do a game that night, but it falls flat. Day 3 starts up, and Drew's family is moving without her. The ladies start planning the big surprise bachelorette party. Welcome to the dungeon for Cynthia that night. It's also time to talk to Kenya. Candy has a come to Jesus with our fair Kenya, and I don't think it really sinks in. Um, Again, the ladies watch the news on the results of the Breonna Taylor case. Um, then we see Drew, Drew and Portia have a nice little interesting conversation on the dynamics of the group, and
Hmm.
then we go to dinner on day 3, and
It
that's
was.
it.
I mean, because there were not too many scenes as normal, which was good. I think that helped
Mhm,
the episode, but there were some good conversations. I think one of the
mhm,
highlights for me was the conversation between Tanya and Latoya because they understand that their experience is different. So they're not
mhm.
going to react the same way as the other ladies. Like they can understand the injustice and all those things, but they understand that that's not their experience, but they can still sympathize with quote unquote Black Americans.
I think it's also eye-opening to the two Canadian ladies and how they have to change their interactions with others and their behaviors um, because of where they live now.
Hmm.
How you behave in Canada as a black person is different than how you behave here as a black person.
True.
And I only say that because I do have family in Canada and it is very different there. Not saying that they don't have racism, there's racism everywhere. But there's it's not like how it is here. And I'll just leave it at that.
No, it's a very good point. And, I just like the fact that they acknowledge it and they understand it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just
Mm-hmm.
brushing off our experience as like, oh, whatever. Like we don't have that. It's more they come from a place more like we don't have that, but we can sympathize with you.
Mm-hmm. Um, this ongoing fight with Marlo and Kenya. You and I were talking about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, how long are they going to do this? I don't even remember what they initially started fighting about. It might have been when I wasn't watching, but they need to move along from this. It's not
Exactly.
helping. It's not
I think it.
interesting.
I think it comes more from the fact of what Marlo said about her mother. I think that's where the real crux of the issue is.
Okay, well then sit down and have a big woman talk. Uh, actually, really apologize to each other and move on. Like I think that you see, they're so much alike, and I think that's why they can't get along. And unfortunately, Kenya ruins every friendship she ever establishes on this show. So is it even worth it? I don't know. Let's move along. Let's move along. What did you think about Cynthia making a doggy bag of that meat that's been on that table the entire damn day, um, taking home salmonella and God knows what else in a Ziploc bag to Mike and her mama?
I was just like, what is the? Where is that the same day as? That's the same day as the barbecue, right? Or is
Yeah.
it the? Or is it the next? If it's the
It
same
was the
day,
night. Yeah.
if it's the
I don't
same
know.
day and it's been sitting down, it's been cooked, I'm not too mad at it. But would I be the one to go ask the would I be the one to recook it before I packed it? Yes.
Honestly, it's pork. You got to be really careful with pork. And they're only on day 2 of a day 5 trip. Who wants that?
And then my thing is this: you might want to pack it up for yourself because looking at Kenya, she ain't got no food for y'all.
That's true.
Just
That's
saying.
very true.
I mean, she was gonna have to
Oh,
eat a crab cake po' boy in front of you and then bring y'all nothing. So you might want to handle it yourselves.
yeah. Yeah. But I thought it was a cute little scene because I'm guilty of taking a Ziploc or a whole container to an event to take home leftovers. I'm guilty of that. So I don't blame her for that. I would just be hesitant of the pork and several days
Mm,
later.
gotcha.
Let's see. Let's get to day 3 because the ladies they tried to play a game, but they started talking about their children at home and everybody just got upset and they were just like, let's go to bed. So they ended the night at 10:30.
Mm. I just
I
thought.
This trip sucks.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Oh my god. All right, so day 3, Drew calls home to find out that her husband and family are moving without her.
Mm-hmm. I'd have been like, go for it.
He could have at least told her you're moving the house, like.
Mm-hmm.
But she brought up a valid point. She's like, I thought we weren't closing until such and such a date. How are you calling in movers to take out all of our stuff? So you know what they're doing? They park in those trucks somewhere in some gas station parking lot until they can move into that house, risking the security of their valuables. Great idea, Ralph. Who's
Yeah, I'm not.
moving during pandemic?
That's a good point. That was my thing. I was like, is it safe? Should y'all be moving at this time? Okay, that's what you. That's if that's what you want to do, sir. Um, I'm gonna support you.
Oh my
I'm gonna
god.
support you because you want to move and you're gonna do what you're gonna do anyway. So go for it.
Hmm.
Would I be doing it? No.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So, while Cynthia's outside talking to Mike, telling him, showing everywhere where she is and saying how she's bringing home this piggy for him, and he's all excited to be poisoned. Um, the ladies are inside in one of the bedrooms. Candy has arranged for dungeon costumes for them. She's got $4,000 in ones and a box for them. She's telling them all the details that what's the guy's name? I can't even remember. Bolo the stripper is coming. And she's saying this is going to be a whole surprise for Cynthia. This is I think this is the first time the ladies have actually perked up and they're like really excited on this trip.
Right. That's what I was thinking too. They all seem kind of excited. I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is all
And
we're gonna get, huh?
well, you know what it is? I don't think it's just the stripper thing. I think it's that they're actually getting instructions on an event that's actually going to take place at a certain
Hmm.
time, and it's a surprise for one of the girls, and they have something to hold on to. Whereas nothing has been said for most of this trip on what they're doing.
That is true. That's very true. So I'll be excited for them on this one. You guys actually have instructions. You know what's gonna be happening. You have something to look
Mhm.
forward to. Go for it.
I mean, even down to their clothes. Like they know exactly what to do, who not to tell, what time it's happening, and everybody's on board, which is a rarity for this group. Um, so then they go outside. Is this where they go to exercise now? This is where Latoya takes over?
Yeah.
No.
Next.
But wait, what about the conversation with Candy and Kenya on the porch in the rockers?
I thought it was very good. Candy wasn't letting her get away with anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Candy was like, "What do you mean? I've always had your back." True. Like, Candy took a lot of heat for being Kenya's friend. Truth be told, Candy took a lot of heat because people was not feeling Kenya. How can you be friends with
Mm-hmm.
her? Blah 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 blah. It's just Candy's not holding you accountable. So this should be any this. The thing is this: is trying to act new. Candy's always held her friends accountable for their actions. It's
Mm-hmm.
nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we go back a couple seasons when Nene was playing that trip to Savannah. I think um, Candy told her about herself on the bus. Sit your behind down because no one's talking to you right. No one's listening to you right now because you keep yelling at us. So I'm not sure why Kenya's surprised that Candy coming to her directly and telling her like, "Hey, this is what's going on. This is what you're doing. It's not appreciated. You know, we have these double standards. You know, I just don't understand what Kenya's acting brand new for."
I love how Candy listed out everything. The private jet, the like everything, like no food, nothing. Then but her biggest thing was you showed up with a poor boy.
Right.
A
And
crab
fries.
cake poor boy. I
And
don't
fries
care
though.
nothing about the jet, but when it comes to the food, like Candy, like you felt her hurt because all she had was a banana
Hmm.
while Kenya was eating a crab cake poor boy.
Yeah, she was mad about the food.
Yeah, she wanted her. She's like, look, this is your trip. Step up. Be a hostess. Stop disrespecting the group. Everything you've been doing like just prior and during this trip has been disrespectful. Like,
Not
why are
couldn't
you doing this?
not couldn't agree with her more. I'm just glad she said it straight up. That's my
Yeah,
thing.
I think Candy, out of everybody in this cast, is the one person that you can count on to always call a spade and try to hold other people accountable. Um, yeah, it was just painful because I don't think Kenya got it.
Exactly. I think she understood. She just didn't really care because she was concerned about her feelings. That's the way I
Hmm.
took it. That's the way I took it.
Well, Kenya always thinks everything's about herself, so no one else matters. Well, whatever. Okay. What did you think? Okay, before they go outside to exercise, I think Kenya comes down to the kitchen island. All the ladies are assembled, and she says, I should have explained to you guys that my daughter is here and I apologize. Um, but although she said the words I apologize, it like nobody understood that to be an apology.
Exactly. It really wasn't. It was like a half apology. Like, she's like, look, let me just say this while the camera's here.
It was she just had that talk with Candy, and that was the best she could do.
Yeah, that's she
Ah.
can she couldn't even fake her way through it. That's a shame.
Portia called her Maleficent or whatever you call it,
Yep.
the evil witch. Oh my god. All right. Drew's having a little problem today. The leg that she hurt, that she had the surgery on when she woke up was a little swollen, so she had to put back on her boot. And she sits down and she has a little conversation with Portia while the other ladies are doing the exercises with Latoya. And she's really struggling to understand how this group works. And I'm meaning Drew. And I can understand that because it is a weird dynamic. They
Hmm.
have these knockout, blowout fights, and then hours later, they're back as if nothing happened and pirouetting down the front drive. How
Yeah,
how is a new person supposed to digest that?
they're not, and I'm glad Portia was able to explain it to her because Portia was fair in my opinion. So
Mhm.
she just let her know, like,
Fair
hey, this
without condemning. She said it
right,
from her point of view. She said, me and Kenya will never be friends. And unfortunately, I don't think she would receive anything spoken from me. You should talk to one of her friends.
right. And she said it right though. She absolutely said it right.
Hmm.
She told no lies there. Like, no lies, because she knows how Kenya is. Like, they've been doing this thing back and forth for years. It is what it is at this point, to be
Hmm.
honest. And Portia knows that. So
Hmm.
Portia's not gonna really try to push that. It makes no sense for her to be honest.
True, true. Um, then Portia has been distracted this entire day because she knows that the grand jury decision is coming back on the Breonna Taylor case. She knows it's getting ready to broadcast. They go inside. The rest of the ladies join them. This is where we see that little blurb that we spoke about earlier between the two Canadians, Tanya
Hmm.
and Latoya. And so then they get the grand jury decision, and it's emotional. It is very emotional.
Hmm.
And I also think it's a lesson for the Canadian ladies, you know.
Most definitely.
And I do like the little segment that they put in afterwards of them like in confessional modes, say her name, Breonna Taylor. I did like that. It was a nice little um cap to that segment.
It was. It really was. It just
Mhm.
it needed to be said. So I was glad for that.
Okay, so it seems like Drew is going around to each of the ladies individually to try and get to know them because she had the one-on-one with Portia. Then she asked Tanya a little bit about herself um, before they go out to dinner. So I think that's the best way for her to get to know these ladies since she had the delay start because of her surgery. it's just to go one-on-one and she might get the most honest answers. I don't know.
I think it was the best way to go for her because of the situation and the ladies and all that stuff. She wasn't going to get really any straight answers from a group because all
Mm,
they were going to do was argue and talk over each other.
true.
So she was just like, let me just avoid that and talk to them one on one,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was a very good idea, and it was very insightful for her to sit back, take everything in, be like, okay, this is the dynamic. Yeah, I'm not gonna get no answers from these people uh in a group session, so let me at least try to talk to them one on one, at least get to know the individuals, so I can at least get an idea of where they're coming from.
Right. I agree. I agree. The ladies go out to dinner. Um, Drew suggests a game called the realest or the fakest, but it's targeted towards Kenya. And she has some fair questions for her because she doesn't understand the behavior.
Right.
But
Now I
Kenya feels
understand
like
that.
she's being attacked.
I just didn't understand where the attack came from. Like, there was no attack there.
That's her default. That's her default. That's what she falls back on. Kenya, when Kenya doesn't have a good foot or leg to stand on, she's like, oh, I feel like I'm being attacked. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Mm-mm. And
Um, but what did you think of? I have to love Tanya. While they're all going back and forth with their issues, Tanya is there with that menu telling the server everything that she wants to order for the table family style because she's hangry.
that's why that would be me. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna go on for a minute. Let me just order some food. That by the time the food comes, because either they're gonna be done with the argument, or when food comes, people just stop arguing and eat because they don't want the
Yes.
food to get cold. So it was a win-win
Hmm.
situation.
Yes, yes. But as usual, Kenya somehow brings it back around to attacking Marlo and attacking not yeah, well, she attacked Marlo, but she tried to challenge Portia. I think she has two different fight modes with these ladies
I'm like, I
because
can see that.
Marlo's never hit her, but Portia has.
Right. True. No lies told.
You just have to be careful, and especially now that she's a mother, and she's
Exactly.
older, brittle bones. Um, do I think that they got anything accomplished during that back and forth? Absolutely not. Do I think her apology to Candy just because she heard that Candy was crying, do I think that was genuine? Absolutely not. Um, and I think Candy was like, Candy said all of that to her and more back on the porch this afternoon. And that's why I said earlier, I don't think she absorbed any of that.
No, it was still about her because at the table she's like, well, some, but step up and be my village. I'm like, really? This is what we're doing?
But you don't
Step up,
trust anybody with your baby. So nobody in the village is good enough to watch your baby.
and you don't talk about what you're really struggling with.
But I do agree with Candy. Candy said, bring two babysitters, bring two nannies. That's what I do when I have to be with you guys. You
Hmm.
had money for a private jet. Bring a backup nanny. It is true.
Right,
You can't work somebody 24 hours a day. You can't. That's why you have two.
right.
You are a woman of means, or so you like to claim.
Yeah, if you can afford to rent a private jet, you can afford to bring a secondary nanny on this trip.
Hmm.
She could just be for this trip only. You just hire her for the week. She's a temp nanny.
I'm really questioning why this trip is 5 days. This could have been 3 days or 3 nights, 4 days, and be done because, ugh, whatever. Maybe she needs to sit down with Candy and figure out how she does it with her children. Maybe
Yeah,
that should have been a conversation beforehand because I don't think any planning went into this trip other than Kenya's transportation to and from
Hmm.
the the site? And that's what she was focused on,
Fair point.
you know. Well, they finished their meal. The mood seems to be lighter. Everybody is laughing. I think Shamia had a very good idea about making everybody do their fakest laugh ever in order to change the somber mood of the table before getting back on the bus. Everybody's laughing and smiling by that time. They get back to the house. Shamia does a very interesting dance in Portia's face. I actually have a caption of that. That What does Shamia do for a living before she got married?
I don't know. I know she was like a cheerleader at one time, I guess, and I don't know what she
I
got.
thought so. Because when they were doing the workout, she looked like she was doing a cheer routine.
Yeah, I think she was a cheerleader. I don't know. I don't know what her profession was after that though. They never. I don't think they ever made mention. I don't think they ever made mention of it on the show. So I have no clue.
Wow. Okay. Well, I like her dynamic. She's one of the few friends that I like.
Hmm.
But that's just me. Okay, so on the bus, Candy tells them they have 15 minutes, and she means 15 minutes. Go upstairs, put on your pajamas, and come back downstairs because she got a text from Don Juan saying that the package has arrived and there's a dick in the box out on the back lawn awaiting these ladies. Bolo has arrived. Yay!
Mm.
Let's hope we get our money's worth next week.
I mean, we know what it's gonna be. Let's not talk about next week because I'm just kind of mad on it already. So can't
Why? I think it'll
Candy
be cute.
Candy tried.
Look, she tried better than Kenya and Latoya did.
I'm just saying, like seeing him in that Chanel suit
No,
jacket
let's
thing.
take away the costume. Let's take away the costume. Let's just boil down to the event planning aspect of this. She's not even the host, and she has a much more coordinated activity than Kenya or Latoya, who's
But
been free balling this entire time.
mm, true. Are they the maid of honors for
Um,
Cynthia? I think they are.
I think they're in the bridal party, but I don't think that they're gonna be like the maid of honor. Wouldn't
I
that
think
be Mal?
no. I think they are. Because
She
remember
did
the
two maids of honor. You
at
sure
the
they aren't just
party
bridesmaids?
at the party. I could be wrong, but still, Candy tried. Kenya could have done better.
Yeah. And I just think it's sad because I think on two occasions, Cynthia has had to speak up and like beg people to just get along on this trip. She did it night two's dinner and then night three's dinner. I feel
Mhm.
really bad for Cynthia.
Yeah,
This trip blows.
she's she look why she looks so tired at dinner though. She looks so exhausted, like she couldn't handle it.
But Shamia, no, Latoya said that she has like 16 days to get married. She has all the stress from her wedding.
Fair.
And now all the stress of arguing on the girls' trip. You
Mhm.
know, I think Tanya had a point when she made that flippant comment in the hallway. I can't remember what scene it was in, but she said, quite honestly, I don't know how Cynthia's doing it because that's what scares me the most about the wedding is planning it. And
Mhm.
good Lord, you put a
True.
pandemic on top of that. Yeah, I think Cynthia really wanted this trip to be peaceful and happy and a little escape from her day-to-day wedding planning, and it's not.
Agreed. I think she wanted to go. I think she really thought they were gonna go, lay on the beach,
Mhm.
lay out on the porch, get a little tan, maybe eat
Get
some
spa
good food,
treatments.
eat some good
Yeah.
food, and it's not that. It's just all like I think in her mind, we could just stay back in Atlanta for this.
Yes, and she would have had her fiance to go to bed with that night. Aw. But yeah, I mean, that's the episode in a nutshell. Is there anything that you want to pinpoint?
For me, no, we hit the recap, we hit the highlights. I mean, that was pretty much it. It wasn't a bad episode. It was a good episode based on what we've
It
seen
was.
before. So I
It
was okay with this
was.
episode. I didn't want to turn my TV. I'll put it this way. I wasn't itching just like, is this over yet? Is this over yet? Is this over yet?
You know how I judge if it's a good episode? If it goes by quickly and I don't play games on my phone while it's on.
Yeah, I didn't. This went by fairly quickly, so I was happy with it.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, guys, let us know what you think. Give us your comments below on what you thought of this episode. If you like our review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 13, episode 9, The Hostess with the Least-est, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you'll be sent an alert every time we put out new content. Okay, well, until next time,
Bye.
bye.